What's up, gamers? It's Dreamkillas representing MaddenMastermind. Hope everybody's doing well today. Out here on the Gen 4, so the PS4, Xbox One version of the game. Going to be showing you guys how to user catch a streak the way I've been doing it in the videos. This isn't the normal route I run, though I do run them from time to time. The one that you guys have been seeing in the video is actually a comeback route. I made that one available to master members just because it's a higher percentage throw. I'd say the completion percentage about what we're going to look at is 50-60%, maybe a little bit higher, but the comeback that I do is, I think, a little bit better. But nonetheless, this will open up your game. Hopefully will help you guys just have more fun. It's always fun to click on, make a play, as opposed to letting the computer do it. So that's the intent with this. There is a quick disclaimer that, again, the percentage of completion is not going to be there. It does have the possibility of getting picked off. It's definitely going to matter with what kind of throw accuracy, throw power your quarterback has, what kind of catch in traffic, spectacular catch your wide receiver that you're going to be throwing it to is going to have. So keep that all in mind. It's definitely going to take some practice, so don't think you're going to watch the video and say, oh yeah, that's how you do it. Jump into the game, and think you're going to be successful. It's definitely going to take practice, just, like the pros, they do. They go through repetition every day, and practice makes perfect. So keep that in mind as well. And also wanted to note that today was actually the day when Madden actually dropped its patch that a lot of people have been talking about. So on offense, haven't noticed a lot of difference. To be honest, though, I haven't played a lot either. I know the hitch still works, so that was like the first thing I wanted to check. And then on defense, blueprints were still good. There's a couple small tweaks we're going to have to make. I know a lot of people were talking about defense, so I'm going to have those tweaks figured out. Or actually, I got it figured out. It's just a matter of recording them and posting them on the website. So I'll make sure to have that for you guys for Friday. So going into the weekend, we will continue to dominate on that side of the ball. And finally, I actually joined Instagram today. I've been behind on the social media revolution. So if you guys are on Twitter and you're not following me, follow me on there. It's dreamkillers at 843, and same thing on Instagram, dreamkillers 843. I'll actually have the my stuff down in the description box. So if you guys don't mind sending me a follow there, you can check out what I do in my personal life outside of Madden, what I do with Madden, so on and so forth. So let's get into it. We are going to be looking at a streak here, one that is actually a little bit, it's a stock like out and up streak that works real good versus say like the cover 4 and cover 2 sync. So now this is going to come down to tendencies because Madden did a really good job with disguising coverage. So this might not look like a cover 4 right off the jump, but again, by figuring out what the opponent's doing and stuff like that and his tendencies, this can definitely be something worthwhile. So now take a look at the streak. Again, it's like an out and up one. That's going to be a stock one. You can't hot route this to get him to do that. But all we're going to have to do versus a cover 4 and a cover 2 sync with this route is literally wait for the receiver to go out 10 yards downfield, bullet pass it to him, click on, and then take the left thumbstick or left analog, whatever you want to call it, and literally just pull him inside to about 10 o'clock and click on, or after the click on, make sure you pull at 10 o'clock and then hit Y or triangle to catch the ball. So here we go. This one here is pretty successful versus these coverages here. Let me jump off that guy. For some reason, the way that the cover 2 sync and cover 4 plays, this one works very well. I run a lot of spreads, so when I see somebody doing it, I know I could jump into it because they're thinking, maybe doing my out routes and stuff like that. And this is a quick way to really throw them off. It works just as well, if the cornerbacks are off. Again, versus cover 4 and cover 2 sync. And all I'm doing here is waiting for about 10 yards downfield. That should have been a completion. And you just hit that soft spot in the zones here. With everybody in those, straight back deep blues, we really put ourselves good position, get it 15, 20 yards downfield possibly. I've had it before, you guys have seen in the videos, even where I break it for a touchdown. So it is a possibility. And again, that's the out and up streak. We'll do this a couple more times. I'm going to try to keep the length of the video a little bit shorter. I know when we were doing the run defense, I doubt anybody watched it for 20 minutes. Again, the key here on the out and up, again, just to be repetitious, you're just literally bullet passing it about 10 yards downfield, clicking on, moving the left stick in a little bit, and holding triangle or hitting Y, and you should be able to complete it. We'll do it one last time here. And this one's very high percentage. You can see here, versus the cover 4, play an opponent that runs a lot of cover 4 or cover 2 sync, you're going to be heavily successful running this one route. Like literally could pick up a 3rd and long doing something like that. So let's quickly jump into a cover 2 sync, all right, because it's going to work pretty much exactly the same versus that coverage. So let's go versus cover 2 sync. All right, cover 2 sync. All right, same play. And it's the route more so than anything else. So here we go, same thing. Wait for him about 10 yards downfield, and we just hit him in that soft spot in the zone. and we're getting big yardage. All right, so same thing here, just a quick bullet pass. Oof. And that's where accuracy, I guess, is going to come into play a little bit. Nonetheless, wait for him, just to even up there. We hit him right in that soft spot. Next thing we know, we're getting, again, same thing, 15, 17 yards. And that's a good way to get down the field. What the heck is that, man? All right, nonetheless, you can see, I guess that's where the completion percentage is going to come into play. But now this one works really, really well versus these plays. It's a little bit hard to talk and do this all at the same time. But I'm not making excuses. What the heck? What kind of animation was that? It could have been a touchdown. Alright, you guys get the gist. Again, that's just a quick bullet pass. Nothing special I'm doing there besides clicking on. That's where the practice is going to come in. So, just get that in your life. You can see there, boom. And if, you're the opponent clicks onto the computer and tries to make a hit stick or something, does something terrible there, I mean, that's a touchdown, right? When that's versus, he could drop other people back into zones. Whatever he wants to do there, and we're still going to be in good shape. Boom. You can see there, like that time the safety tried to come up and make a play. Now, however, let's just say we're running against a cover 3. Okay. Now this is probably the most popular formation out here. Unfortunately, with the way the zones play, you just can't bullet pass it in there, which is unfortunate because, again, this one ends up being a very, very popular formation, or very, very popular coverage this year. Again, it's just your stock cover 3. You may get lucky from time to time. You see him kind of whip in there that time. But the corner actually plays a more to the inside type coverage. You can see he's kind of shading in. And again, we're completing it right now, but it's not going to be your best bet. I promise. If we keep doing this, he's eventually going to get picked off. And this is something, again, through tendency. If the guy doesn't run, you can see there, like, look, the corner, like, literally jumps it, where before the only person that's going to jump that, again, this is going back against, this is cover 2 sync, sorry. But, in the other coverages, he's not going to be able to do that. So, again, let's jump back into cover 3 here. All right, same thing. We'll just try to bullet pass it real quick, but just to kind of show you guys that it looks like it's going to work, but it really doesn't. All right, so one thing you can do versus the guys that run a lot of coverage like this, is just put your guy on a normal streak, okay? And now the difference here is we're going to wait for the cornerback, and it may take 15, 20 yards downfield, so keep that in mind. It's not going to be your easiest pass to complete. But once the cornerback literally starts turning his hips to run, we're going to pass lead this one up, and then do the same thing in bullet pass, and then we're going to click on, and then literally take the left analog stick about 10 o'clock, hit wire triangle to catch it, and we should be okay. So let's see what happens here. You can see he's backpedaling, and then as soon as he turns his hips, we're going to throw it and hopefully come down with the ball. And sometimes, you could throw a little bit sooner. I like to try to throw it around 20 yards just so, Romo doesn't give me a bad throw or anything like that. But you do stand the chance, and I'm sure we'll see it here where the cornerback actually jumps the route. Yeah, you can see, like, that time he just gets inside of me. And though I don't have it picked a lot in the games, it is a possibility. So keep that in mind. Here, all right, as soon as he turns his hips, and then boom, we should be good. Just because we get the underneath part of it, and then you have somebody like Dez or something like that there, Calvin Johnson or whatever your receiver of choice is. If he's pretty good, you should be in good shape with this. Boom. All right, so you can see there, and that one, we're getting 20 some yards downfield, which is good because if you need a big play and he likes to run that cover 3, you basically got a one-on-one, which should work in our advantage, especially if you're able to take user control of it. And that time I probably threw out just a tad bit early. All right, we'll do it a few more times here. But again, it's very simple, guys. I mean, literally, you're just pass leading. Threw it too early again. You're just pass leading and then clicking on and moving inside. So again, is it gonna be a game changer tip? Probably not, but I'm sure some of you guys will definitely take the time to lab it, get it down in practice mode. That was terrible. Get it down in practice mode and really open up your game. You can see it's been successful for me in games. Like I said, I do run the comeback more often than not, but it's still a valid scenario or a valid thing that you can use. Just to keep getting points on the board, moving the ball downfield, making your opponent really have to, second guess what kind of defense and coverage he's going to do, what kind of adjustments he's going to make on his plays. Jeez, why is Romo throwing so bad? Maybe this is that accuracy patch they're talking about here. I don't know. All right. So, but you can see though, once you get the hang of it, you can complete it. It's a good little scenario. I guess I could repeat myself 100 times, but we won't. You see here, boom, turn his hip a little bit, and that was too much inside that time. I normally recommend trying to click on or moving inside at like the very last second, just so you don't do what I did right there. I normally just, you know, run straight with them for just a second and then move inside. You can see right there. Okay, so I guess that's the only other thing I can tell you. And one last thing that we'll do here is we'll run it versus cover 2, because I've definitely thrown streaks versus cover 2. Because some guys, you know, especially when with me running spread, that's the look they try to take. So let's jump into that. All right, so cover 2. All right, and then same thing here. We're just going to pass lead it up once he gets past the zone here. Boom, and then we try to split the coverage, and we're in good shape again, right? So that can work out well. Versus cover 2. Now, I don't recommend it versus 2-man under. That's an errant throw. You're literally going to be throwing it into double coverage for the most part, and that's not a good look. So you can see there we split the coverage, or split the zones rather, and almost actually scored what would have been a touchdown there. Can technically do it versus man coverage. Man blitz, we'll show you here in a second. That's always a fun animation when you get that one. So let's just jump real quick into man coverage, or at least a man blitz, and we're going to call it a day. Alright, same scenario, just wait for him. As soon as he's turning his hips, click on, move inside, and you should be able to get a reception. Again, a lot of this is going to come from pre-snap reads, after snap reads, and then opponent's tendencies. So just to tell you that, you know, there's not one way you're going to come out and say, oh, he's running a man blitz this time, so I'm going to run my, you know, this little stock out and up streak. But remember, we're going to throw that one versus the cover 2 and cover 4, or cover 2 sink and cover 4. And that one's very, very high percentage. You can see, again, that out and up streak there, just in case for the guys that missed it. And again, once he turns his back or turns his hips, okay, now he's squatting like an animal. And that happens too, so keep that in mind. And that's why I normally run the comeback. I'm not going to lie. But people do ask for this. I've been asked in the comment section and stuff like that. Jeez. It's good defense. So just keep it in mind, though. Definitely something that can help you out. All right, there. Boom. And sometimes you get that crazy animation. And that's it. So, again, I wouldn't recommend it versus 2-man under, but I think we've went over every other coverage. Cover 6, you know, you can technically do the same thing. Once you wait for him to get past the zone, and then you're good. Let me show you guys, though, one last thing. This is, I mean, you technically can run this streak here, you know, if you want. It's, no. Anyway, you're better off sticking with the normal one. Closer to the quarterback for some reason helps on that, I think. So that's the deal. And last time, we got to go out with a catch. That's the deal. So thank you guys for the support. I appreciate it. Check out tomorrow's video. I'm going to be coming back with some Gen 3 tips, so you guys stay tuned as well. It's a very similar concept, though, for the Gen 3 guys. So if you guys happen to be watching this, it's very similar, except for it's a lot easier to do. Ooh. We got to go out with a catch, man. I can't let this happen. This is terrible. All right, come on. And, of course, we run the ball. All right. I'm sorry. This is getting lengthened for no reason right now. Boom. Man coverage. All right, come on. Let's go out with a catch. Come on, Dez. There we go. All right, and that's it. You guys have a good evening. I hope you enjoyed. Again, it's the streak user catch.